Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Joseph Clough, and this is episode 591. Now, in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about something which may be controversial to what many people think in the world, or we're just getting really deep and refined so we can utilize the good and greatness of this subject whilst cutting through all the fluffiness. Because I don't want you to be disillusioned that things don't work when we're not taught the right recipe or the right ingredients to produce the result. So I'm going to give you the missing ingredients to making this work. So what is the subject? Well, it's all about affirmations, positive affirmations, and how they can actually create more pain and more harm if we don't use them properly. And on top of that, most people are not using them really well, and it causes people to be disillusioned. Now, this is being broadcasted live on YouTube and Facebook and also Twitch. We go live Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Mondays is Motivational Monday. Wednesday is Hypnosis Wednesday. So that means you can ask me suggestions to put in the hypnosis track, and then I go ahead and do that on the live experience. And then on Friday, which is this episode, if you're listening to this in the future of this live, it is more of a chill out experience on the Fridays, where we go into subjects, but it's a little bit different feel, which you can definitely tell on the live. When I do the post editing of these episodes, it goes back into a different format. So there are editing systems of how I use it to make the live experience a little bit different from the podcast experience. Now, this episode was actually recorded probably 2 weeks ago if you're listening to this on the podcast. But on top of that, you can always go ahead and download my free hypnosis app, which is freehypnosis.app, and you can create custom hypnosis sessions. There are over 591 free episodes, where around 100 plus of those are free hypnosis, but you can also transform as you go to sleep, and you can toggle it to the day version, and it gives you a different alternative. One so you just drift to sleep, and one which will wake you up that bit more refreshed. And of course, if you would like to go ahead and leave a review, that would be beautiful and wonderful. Why? Because it means we're helping, we're sharing, we're caring, and that means other people will be able to see your words and go, okay, I need this. Like, some people are lost, right? Some people are lost and they go on this mission to try to find an answer. Now, although it might not be the answer for everyone, your review will go ahead and maybe help that person. I mean in a huge way. You do not know the powerful effects of one referral, because a changed person actually changes the life of those in their sphere. So if someone is a depressed father or mother, well, if we can help them get confidence and take away the stress, what's going to happen to the children? The children see this new being of confidence. So we can actually change the world together, and it's for free, every one of those things. It takes you 2 or 3 minutes of your time to write a review. However, it can change a lifetime from someone else, even if they just utilize the free section. So we have to get into this episode now, having said that. And like I said, this episode is a little bit controversial even. So it's about positive affirmations and why they can cause more harm and more conflict when used the wrong way. With that, what are positive affirmations? Well, positive affirmations are almost like positive statements, saying, looking in the mirror and going, I'm worthy, or I'm enough, or I'm getting $10 million next week. They're statements in our mind, or which we can verbalize as well, which are intended, so a good positive intention, to be able to change our thinking. Because the reason why we say those things, because we don't quite believe them. We say the statement, but we don't believe it. And we're hoping by saying it enough times, we will get to believe it. Now, in some small cases, this can absolutely be true. But it's very hard to be able to create a positive affirmation when there are so many negative affirmations happening beneath the surface, which are bigger and stronger, and more than that, identity based. You see, if you have a belief system that you're not enough or you're not worthy of that $1 million or that relationship or that career, that promotion, or getting more clients, if that identity is, I don't believe in it, then the words have almost a meaningless energy to it. Like, it's not a powerful energy. So we need to get into the right frame point. We need to be able to understand this, because if we don't understand it, we can actually cause more damage. Excuse me. So most of the time we are saying negative affirmations. I'm depressed, I'm anxious, I'm worried, I'm fearful, I'm not enough. What if this happens? What if that happens? And when we're doing that, we're affirming to our mind, our body, our neurology, that is the reality. So when we just speak some words in our mind of the opposite, which is positive, it doesn't really take effect. And what does that do? Well, it makes us feel disillusioned. Positive affirmations don't work. There's why I'm never going to change. I'm broken. I'm never, like, it might work for others, but it's not going to work for me. So the nature of some positive affirmations, when used wrongly, and we'll get to the rightly soon, but when we use it in a wrong way, it can actually make you feel resigned and actually reinforce the negative affirmation, right? It's almost like we're setting ourselves up for failure. So therefore we go, oh, that's why I'm not worthy. That's why I'm not enough. It did not work. So that's why this is really important to understand. Can they work? Yes. When we use them in the right way, the good way, the great way, then absolutely we are starting to change it, but usually we don't use it. Now here's another analogy for you. Let's just say you go home one day into your living room and you start to look in the corner, and every day it's getting a little bit darker and a little bit greener. Now in that moment, when you notice that something is going wrong here, you start to investigate it. And unfortunately, and if you don't know this, mold can be one of the most horrible things for our body. It actually causes us to have very bad respiratory issues and so on. Like, it can be really, really bad. But let's just say you see that mold there and you go get some paint and you just paint over that mold. Now what happens? Well, it looks better, right? Now you got that nice white wall again. But beneath the surface, what is there? Well, the mold is there. What's going to happen? Well, that mold's going to keep on growing. And you keep on painting over it. It looks good temporarily. It might make you feel better. But you know behind that paint, the mold is there and is getting worse. That is a bad thing to do. What should you do? Well, you'd probably like to clear out the mold, get it fixed. Once it's fixed, then guess what? Put the white paint on it. Now you know you are clean and clear of all mold and you've got that great, wonderful white wall again. That is how we should do it, right? Well, let's now take that into affirmations. Let's say the issue that you experience, a limiting belief about yourself, about money, about health, about relationships, about career, you associate that belief as the mold. The paint is the affirmation. Just simply painting over the belief system is not gonna work. Sometimes, as I said, it'll actually get worse because it's still growing. And then we get resigned every time we look at that belief in our mind, like looking at that wall, we're like, oh my goodness, the mold is back, worse than ever. So that is why positive affirmations can be very, very bad for you. Bad, just like the mold for your physical body, positive affirmations can be the mold of your unconscious mind. Now, I know you don't all want to hear that because we've been told affirmations are really, really good. So they are good. but they got to be good in the right way. Now, what are some examples of a right way? Well, let's just say we cleared that mold and then we painted over. That's a good affirmation. Like, excuse me, clearing out the belief system, clearing out the root cause of your issue, then saying positive affirmations, then yeah, sure, that's going to be amazing for you. That's going to make a powerful transformation because you have the right foundations in place. You have the right system. Like, a broken mindset can break the perfect strategy in anything. Like, some people I know, I get hired for some companies here and there to be able to work or design systems for the company to be able to get their clients on track, because they know the system works, but the client can doubt the product, even though the product works, because really they're doubting themselves. So we've got to be able to educate people to let go of their inner stuff to be able to get the outer stuff. So we want to be able to try to let go of the root cause, and then use as many affirmations as you want, because that's just putting new paint on that brand new clean and clear wall. That makes absolutely profound transformation. So if we don't have that, we are actually creating a miscommunication. Because if you can imagine, we have the conflict and the affirmation is creating these two polar responses. And guess what? That deepens the conflict. The issue is getting bigger or wider because you're living in two different worlds. And we feel more separated from ourselves, and hence why I said earlier that we can feel more resigned. So positive affirmations can actually be really, really bad for us. So how then, you're probably wondering, Joseph, oh my goodness, I've been painting over the mold when it comes to affirmations. How do I stop this? Well, number one, always, always, always work on the root cause. If you need help with that, and it might not even be relative, but I have my own program to solve things like that. But it's in a certain context. It's not going to be for everyone. It's very customized and things like that. In fact, I try to repel people away from my program sometimes because I want the right kind of positive person who's willing to go all in on something and live the life of their desires. And not everyone wants that all the time, or at least committed to it. And that's okay, but I try to repel people. But my system only ever works. Our first thing is we find the root cause. We find the hidden root cause beneath the surface by meeting the issue where it lives, the unconscious mind. And then we only work on the root cause. So without my system, go ahead and just look for that root cause anyhow you can. Everyone's is different. But you've got to look for that root cause, reach out for help, write things down, read books, all those kind of things. But that is the first thing I always say to do. But let's just say in the meantime, whether you're saving up to invest in a program like mine, or you're going by yourself on your own journey, even if it takes longer and things like that, it doesn't matter because you want to maybe utilize your time more. It's up to you. What can we do in the meantime? Well, usually if we take the positive affirmation statement, we usually, like I said, it's more of a statement, positive affirmation of a statement, which would be linguistically a full stop to it, right? Like, I am enough. I am abundant. I am getting X amount a month of dollars, right? They're statements. That statement creates the resistance. That statement creates a block because we do not have it. So how can we modify that experience of a positive affirmations? Well, you do that by changing the communication linguistically. We have to insert a couple of different words to change that conversation with your unconscious mind. The best ones that I like are questions. And the questions, to make it easier, imagine putting a word how in there, right? How can I be more abundant? That is a good affirmation. It's open-minded. You're saying, look, I'm looking for answers here. How can I be more confident? How can I go into that interview with confidence and with self-esteem and self-certainty? When you ask the how questions, you're opening up for answers. Statements are closed, and if we don't have them, it's going to create that resistance within us. But if we change the frame of the reference of the sentence and go, how can I make more money? How can I be better today than I was from yesterday, but not as much as tomorrow? Now we're using the past, the present, and the future tense to get better at our learning. How can I get better today compared to tomorrow, but not as much? No, compared to yesterday. That would have been a reverse one. How can I get better than yesterday today, but not as much as tomorrow? That's what we have to do. We are changing the conversation. We're opening it up. Every time I remember, and I've said this before, when I started out 18 years old, my dad was a practicing hypnotist as well as a hobby, and I was like transitioning into part-time to full-time, and he said something to me really, really powerful before every session that he was around me. All he would say is, I wonder how much you can have fun today. I wonder how much fun you can have with this client. Like, he's changing my frame of reference to enjoy the experience of working with a client. And it makes me think, well, how can I have fun with this client? How can I lighten it up? Why does transformation have to be hard and dark? We got to make things lighter. If I'm having fun, if I'm being the best example, like automatically my mind is looking for that train of thought. So just by inserting the letter, or H, but really the letter of the word, I mean how, will change the affirmation into an affirmation question, which creates options. Now I'm looking for the good and great. Does that make sense? Now, here's another one. Most people in life go, why am I like this? Why am I in debt? Why can I never get a good relationship? Why can I not get that promotion? Why can I not break that $50,000 a month in my business or $1 million a month in the business? When we go that way and we go, why am I like this? Your unconscious mind, your best friend, is going to answer your question. It doesn't judge your question. It looks for the answers via you, or it looks for answers via your questions. So what's it gonna do? When you say, why am I not enough? It's gonna go and fetch the answers. Do you remember that time when you went to that Christmas party and you got a little bit too tipsy? Well, you didn't look good there. Oh, do you remember that time you didn't get that job? Well, you didn't look good there either. And after all, it's going to come up with all these examples, and then you're going to go, oh my goodness, that's why I'm not enough. That's why I'm not good enough. That's why I can't have the relationship. That's why I can't have the job. That's why I can't have the career. That's why I can't have the money. You will find the reasons when you go, why am I like this? That's not good. That's a very negative of affirmation, which is very powerful in the wrong way. But how can we use it? How can we look for something different? Well, we go ahead and look a little bit deeper into it. We go, okay, how can I change this? Look, asking new questions. How can I change this? Well, this is what we do. Why am I worthy of this job? Why is it important to me to have that amount of money? Now that question has been turned into a new way, like the how. Why am I going to be so happy today? Your unconscious mind's going to look for the answers of why you could be happy today. Why am I going to close this client or this business for 5K tomorrow? Because my product delivers, or because this service that I teach or run or sell or products I sell, this item I sell is going to be worth it. Like, we're changing the why question into something positive. That is an affirmation with a question to it. So we've got the how and the why statements. So do not go, today I'm going to be enough, or I'm going to earn this, because that could be conflicting messages to your unconscious mind if you have a very core limiting belief which you're unaware of yet. It creates a conflict. That's why it does harm. Going back to the mold analogy. We don't want to paint over mold. It's not good. It's not healthy for us. We've got to let go of the mold and then paint over the clean wall with the positive affirmation. And if you're going to use positive affirmations, whilst you're on this journey of transformation, you want to be able to change it from a statement to a how question or a positive why question. Why am I going to be so happy today? You can also go, I wonder what's going to happen that is great. Like, you can change the feeling. Like, you can even energetically do that with your body. Like, you can put your hand on your heart, and when you ask, how can I be better? You'll probably move forward. Or your body, if you do like the kinesiology stuff, if that's the right word, your physiology will be stronger because of this. So we've got to use it in the right way. So that is my message for this episode. Now, of course, you got some options here, and they might not be fully ready for you right here, right now, but it's up to you. All you've got to do is go to the webinar, and that is josephclough.info/power. Now, it's a masterclass. It's like 40 minutes or so, but it'll give you a good idea of how I work with my clients and how to let go of the imposter syndrome, let go of that inner critic. And speaking of which, by the way, so josephclough.info/power, let's just go ahead and say, let's get back on track for a second. This came to my mind right now. If I have a statement, which is the old affirmation way, like painting over the mold, what's going to happen? Well, it's very much like the example of maybe you're at work and someone says, how are you always so confident? You do such a good job. You're amazing at what you do, but you don't believe it. What happens? You feel like an imposter. You don't feel like you're being authentically you because everyone's saying all these good and great things about you, but you don't believe in it. That is the external affirmation, right? Someone else is affirming to you that you do a good and great job, but you don't believe in it. So therefore you feel like an imposter. So we know right here, whoops, wrong one. We know right here that external affirmation is not going to work for us because it makes you feel like an imposter. You're going to get found out. And if we do it to ourselves, it just creates more of an issue. So change your affirmations, but also look for a system that will work with you specifically. Now, this is a masterclass, josephclough.info/power. You got to go for it, and then you have to apply for it. You got to fill out some information. If we can serve you, we might be able to enroll you on if we have space, and also if we feel like we're a good fit. It is a hefty investment. I mean, it is a hefty investment of returns of a lifetime of freedom, but it's fully customized. It's fully tailored for your needs. It takes a lot of our time to create that transformation with you together. So that is one option. Now, the other option, of course, is going to my app, freehypnosis.app. This is where you can get access to free material, create custom hypnosis tracks, transform in the day, transform in the night. You've got a ton of information there. Go to freehypnosis.app and then it will take you to either the option of the Apple app or the Android app. So that is something you can do. And of course, if you got value from this episode, leave a review on the app, maybe unlock the app, get maybe one of the in-app purchases, just if you enjoyed it, got value from this. And that means we can continue producing content with you and for you in every single way. So with that, my wonderful friends, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I look forward to speaking to you on a future one. Many thanks and goodbye.